evening, kung basta kamusta kayo 'no? So this will be my, konting learning, relearning or video for our midterm exam, for our midterm exam. Ah, iso-solve natin 'to, although I already solved this in the classes. What I'm going to do is I'm gonna teach, each lesson. I'm gonna try to teach each lesson again. Besides dun sa differential at integral. Na, so let's start. So again, when it comes to the midterm, ang mga topic natin is elimination of arbitrary constant. Ito yung first topic first solving topic natin na ginawa, second week ng ating semester. So what we're going to do is for our elimination of arbitrary constant, we identify kung ano ba yung mga constant. Arbitrary constant usually denoted by letter C. Na, so in this form, y equals x, usually denoted by letter C. No, so in this case, we have two arbitrary constants. Now, when you identify the arbitrary constants, to eliminate them, you're gonna be differentiating. Again, this is a solution, no? Tawag natin dito yung solution. No, pag may constant ka, solution 'yan. No, so when you have a derivative, that's a differential equation. Okay po? Napakalinaw no. So I think when you have a derivative in the equation, it's a differential equation. When you have an arbitrary constant, it's a solution. No? Now, there's two arbitrary constant. What we're going to do is we're going to differentiate two times. Differentiate two times. For x squared, it will become 2x, then it will become 2. For c1x, the arbitrary constant is considered as a constant, so c1, then 0. Okay. Then for c2 e to the negative x, c2 e to the negative x, then positive c2 e to the negative x. Because e to the negative x can be infinitely differentiated and it will not be gone, the constant beside e to the negative x is still there. Okay? Now, there are functions like that. So, sine, cosine, uh, let's say big values like x to the 8, x to the 9, bigger degree variables. So even if you differentiate that, there's the constant is still there. What you're going to do is elimination method or substitution method. And for elimination method, what we're going to do is we're gonna make use of the other equations. These are the equations, and you're gonna add. Now, you're gonna try to eliminate the constant by adding the same number of coefficients to the opposite side. For example, 3 and 2. Equation 3 and 2 have positive C2 and negative C2. So if you add those, okay, we add the left side is y double prime and y prime plus 2 plus C1, then positive C2 e to the negative x minus C2 e to the negative x. The positive and negative C2 will cancel each other out or will become 0. Okay? Okay. Now, in this case, elimination method, because we have 3 equations and 2 constants, we're gonna do it twice. Okay? We're gonna do it twice. So, equation 2 and equation 1. Now, so when you add those, so y prime plus y is equal to x squared plus 2x plus c1x plus c1, then c2 minus c2, right? E to the negative x will be 0. Now, so that's the idea. Now, the thing is, C1 is still existing, right? So C1 is still existing. So what I'm going to do is, if the coefficient for the second line, you could say that C1 has a coefficient of x plus 1. Okay, so because they have 2C1. Okay. Uh, what I'm going to do is I'm gonna multiply this equation with x plus 1. Now I'm gonna multiply this equation with x plus 1. So this becomes y double prime x plus 1 plus y prime x plus 1. Uh, y prime x plus 1 is equal to 2x x plus 1 plus 2x plus 1 plus c1 x plus 1. So now we have same coefficients as the other line, right? Other equation. What we're going to do now is I'm gonna minus this. I'm gonna minus the whole I'm gonna call this fourth equation. I'm gonna minus or subtract the whole fourth equation. So we have a negative c1 x plus 1. So if we subtract that, our c1 x plus 1 from the fourth equation will become negative. Ah, so that's gonna become negative. The c1 will be canceling each other out. Okay. So simplifying that, y double prime x plus 1, y prime x plus 1 minus y prime minus y is equal to uh, 2x square plus 2x plus 2x plus 2 minus x square minus 2x. What we're going to have is x square plus 2x plus 2 and y double prime x plus 1 plus y prime x minus y. This is now what you call our differential equation. The constant is already gone. No, there's no more constant, and we simplified our answer. So that is now our eliminated differential constant differential equation. Okay, so that's for elimination of arbitrary constant. So this, I think I'm gonna make this a 6-7 part video. So I hope you learned something from the video. Thank you so much. See you guys for the next video. Bye bye. Alright, so this will be our second video for our midterm solution. What we're going to do is we're gonna answer number 2. The past video is about elimination of arbitrary constant. For this one is family of curves. So for family of curves, what are the curves? The parabolas, line, hyperbola should be learned from your high school. And we're gonna read the problem first. So basically, family of curves will be your worded problem for your differential equation. So when you read the problem, always try to know what curve are we talking about. Uh, Also know what being asked. So what we want to find is the differential equation of representing all circles. So when you say circle, x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. All circles with center on the line y equals x. So when you say y equals x, the y is and x are equal. Right? When you say 1x, so the y is also x. Okay? The x is 2, the y is also 2. Right? The center of the circle. So when you're going to make a circle, the circle needs to have the center on that and passing through the origin. So your origin is 0, 0. So like that, like that, like that. Ah, in this diagram, in this problem, basically it requires you or us to analyze the system. So now normally we're gonna have our general solution. That's the normal circle. And if we look at that, there's three arbitrary constant. Now, for family of curves, because we have a specific case, now, we have a specific case that's saying that the circles at the centers y equals x. We could analyze that the h and k are equal. The center, the h and k values are always the same for this circle. And if we analyze another thing, because they pass the origin, this is your h and your h and k will always form a hypotenuse, which is the radius, or 2h squared because they're the same, or 2k squared. I think this is the k and this is the h. Okay. Right? So, using this initial condition, we can substitute that your h is h, your k is h, right? Your k is h, and your r squared can become 2h squared. Up, meaning, in this diagram, in this situation, h is an arbitrary constant, and you only have one arbitrary constant. Just like elimination of arbitrary constant, if we want to get the differential equation, if we want to get the differential equation of our solution, we just have to differentiate it one time. Now, so what I'm going to do is I'm gonna expand first. I'm gonna expand first. So in this case, we can cancel out the h square both sides. Then I'm gonna transfer the x and y to the opposite side and divide by the x plus y. Okay? So we can eliminate 2h at the opposite side by differentiating. So we're just gonna have to use quotient rule. I hope you guys remember quotient rule. So x plus y squared 2x dx plus 2y dy minus x square plus y square dx plus dy is equal to 0. Okay? The differential of 2h is 0. Okay? By differentiating a fraction, we use the quotient rule. So, multiply both sides by the denominator. Then, I'm gonna expand. No? 2x squared plus 2xy dx. Then, 2yx plus 2y squared dy. This is for the left part. For the right part is x squared dx plus y squared dx minus x squared dy minus y squared dy. Right? Now, if we simplify that, we're gonna have x squared plus 2xy minus y squared dx plus y squared plus 2xy minus y squared. Oh, I think that's x squared dy. And that is now our differential equation for our elimination of arbitrary constant. It's basically the same and application of the elimination of arbitrary constants. The only thing is your ability to discern curves. You know, if you know a circle, if you know a parabola, what is the general solution of a circle, what is the general solution of parabola, what is the relationship of the terms of the family of curves to the graph. Okay. So that's the thing for family of curves. Definitely the important thing here is before you do the elimination of arbitrary constant, you are able to discern the relationship of the arbitrary constants. Because if you use the general formula for example, the line y equals mx plus b, without finding any relationship for that, you're gonna be probably differentiating because there's two arbitrary constants besides your y and x. You're gonna be differentiating that twice. So again, the most important part for this problem or this topic is you are able to discern the a condition, the initial condition, or the relationship of the arbitrary constants to your situation or to your graph. Right? So thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. Uh, Probably to help you guys in discerning this initial condition, more examples, more problems in your practicing, na solving in your problem sets in your exams. Okay? Thank you so much again and bye. Thank you. Okay, so this is our third video of our okay, this is our third video of our lesson for our midterm. I hope you guys are enjoying. So for this time, we're gonna be solving our differential equation. We are now in the our first orders. So what we're going to do is we're gonna try to learn how to classify our differential equation. No, so I'm gonna do this one by one. Uh, we're gonna try separable. No, so again for uh, separable is the idea for separable is for there are functions g of y, h of x. There are functions in your equation that can be separated, to which when you separate them, uh, I divide the equation by gy and I multiplied it by dx. When you separate them it to its respective derivative, no, the only functions that is now available for that derivative is only their variable. Okay? So the only variable in that respective derivative is that variable only. So for example, your dy is only y, your x will only have x on its side. Okay? So for this case, 2xy minus tangent y dx, because y and y here is in the binomial, this cannot be separable. We could separate x on the opposite side, but that's just it. No, so we cannot separate x on this binomial. It's an algebra elementary high school process. We cannot simply divide the equation by x second square. But the thing is, the x, we may have x on the left side, but there is still y on the right side. Okay? So you cannot, this equation is not separable. Okay? For homogeneous, how about for homogeneous? For homogeneous, we have a test for homogeneity. For homogeneity. Okay? So the test for homogeneity is you let x is equal to lambda x, y is equal to lambda y, 2 lambda x. So what we're going to do is substitute the variables lambda x, lambda y minus tangent lambda y dx plus lambda square x square minus lambda x second square lambda y. And when you substitute your lambda x and your lambda y on your respective variables, what you're going to do is you're gonna try to separate lambda. Because lambda x and lambda y are here, we can separate lambda, right, to xy. But because tangent y has lambda inside, we cannot simply separate that. Okay, so lambda, we can just separate one lambda. But still, we cannot separate fully. Because also for the second, for the right side, the lambda is also inside your trigonometric function, meaning this cannot be homogeneous. Okay? For linear equation, the idea is to be, when you're looking for the linearity for that certain variable, it it needs to be first degree. But y is in a trigonometric function. Y is in a trigonometric function. And then x is in the equation is x squared. It's not linear anymore. Okay? So what we're going to do is we're gonna go to exact equations. We're gonna identify m, which is 2xy minus tangent y. N is equal to x squared minus x secant square y. Okay? And we're going to differentiate that m with respect to the opposite variable. N with respect to x, m mama with respect to y, nanay with respect to x. So when you differentiate that set or function with respect to that variable, okay, for exact equation, you treat the other variable as a constant. So 2x minus secant square y. We only differentiate the y terms. For the n, it will become 2x minus secant square y. We only differentiate the y terms. And if that's the same, the equation is exact. Okay? Therefore, we can solve the equation through exact method. And this is test for exactness. Okay, next. What we're going to do is solve. There are three theorems working for uh, the exact method. Okay, for theorem number 1, we integrate the left side, mdx, and differentiate it with respect to y. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to integrate the left side, 2xy minus tangent y, with respect to dx. So it becomes x squared y minus x tangent y plus hy. Then we're going to differentiate that with respect to y. Only y variables, right? We're just gonna look at the y variables. What's going to happen is we're gonna treat x as the constant. It will become x squared minus x secant square y plus h prime y. Na. Okay, we add the hy because we treat it with hy instead of constant. When we integrate, we add constant. But for this case, because we only integrate the left side, we assume that we differentiated. Okay, differentiate. We differentiate a y term that becomes 0 because we differentiate with respect to x. Now, if we integrate back to with respect to x, instead of taking out y, we add y that becomes 0. Assuming that there are y's that become 0 when you differentiate with respect to x. Now, because this is a y function, basically, when you differentiate a y function with respect to y, it becomes a prime of it. Okay? And that is equal to n, which is n is equal to x squared minus x secant square y. This is n, right? Yeah. Right? So that is n. And if that's equal to n, meaning both sides has the same term, h prime y is equal to 0. When we integrate that, h of y is equal to constant. So our general solution will become x squared y minus x tangent y is equal to c. This is now our general solution. Now for theorem 2, we're going to differentiate the left side, the right side. And we're going to integrate the right side, then differentiate to the left side with respect to x, your right side. Okay, there we go. So what's the left side? We integrate x squared minus x secant square y, right? dy. We're only gonna be looking at y only. So it becomes x squared y minus x tangent y plus g of x. Then we're going to differentiate with respect to x. And we're gonna be looking at the x only. So it becomes 2xy minus tangent y plus g prime x. And that should be equal to your m, which is your m is 2xy minus tangent y. Okay? Meaning they are the same. No. So your g prime of x is 0. And the integral of g prime of x is g of x is constant. Meaning your general solution is equal to C. This is now your general solution, which is the same for theorem 1. Now for theorem 2, for theorem 3, instead of integrating the right side and the left side, what we're going to do is we're going to integrate both sides. Okay? So integrate xy minus tangent y dx, 2xy tangent y dx, and we're gonna integrate x squared minus x seconds square y dy. What we're going to happen, it will become x squared y minus x tangent y plus h of y, and this will becomes x squared y minus x tangent y g of x. And that's basically the same, right? It's the same. And what we're going to do now is we're going to copy the similar terms. Once you copy the similar terms, basically you equate it to C. Identify your h of y, which is 0, g of x, which is 0. Okay, so that is now how you solve exact equation. You don't have to do all theorems. So this is theorem 1. This is theorem 2. This is theorem 3. You don't have to do all theorems, but those are the 3 methods in solving exact equations. Okay, thank you so much. I hope you guys learned something from this video. And keep solving, guys. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Okay, we're going on to the fourth type. We're gonna go to the fourth example. Okay, so this one, let's see. So this one is from the previous video is a separable equation. No? Okay, this one is a separable equation. Okay, from this equation, we can notice that besides your dx and your dy, okay, there's only x on the binomial and there's only y on the binomial, so we just divide, right? 1 plus x squared, right? So because dx over 1 plus x squared is plus dy over 1 plus y squared. Okay? Then we integrate. So for separable, the idea, so we have an example of separable. For separable, the idea is you're able to move or divide or multiply your variables, x variables to your dx, your y variables to your dy. So you can integrate them, as that variable. And this one, it will become arc tangent x plus arc tangent y is equal to C. And this is now our answer to our separable equation. This is separable. Okay? You can identify a separable equation once you are able to separate all the variables to its respective derivatives. Okay? There are your m is 1 over 1 plus x squared. Remember, our formation is m dx plus n dy. Okay? So whatever your m is, it's always x variables only. When whatever your n is, it's only y variables only. So when you look at n, the coefficients that the variables or the terms that are beside dy, it's 1 over 1 plus y squared, which is y only terms. Meaning, it's separated already, and we can integrate that via our integral calculus. I hope you guys learned something. This is a very fast video. Thank you so much. Goodbye. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Okay, so hello, welcome back for our next video. So this next video will be our next problem. We will have another equation. So let's check if this is separable or not, or let's check what type it is. First, let's write this down. Okay, so we're gonna be using A and B because it is in I think in your midterm, in my students' midterm, it's U and V. So for this case, we're gonna be using A and B. Now, so it is important that we are comfortable with any letter. So what we're going to do is we'll try, again, for separable, can we separate this? No, binomial, when it comes to that, we cannot separate that. How do we separate that? Divide by b, so it will just become a over b minus 4b. There will always be a variable existing in the term. So it is not separable. Probably I will be trying with, how about let's try with homogeneous. Is it homogeneous if we let y is equal to lambda y, x is equal to lambda x? Now 2 lambda, or sorry, A is equal to lambda A, B is equal to lambda B. Now, because we were using a different variable, lambda A minus lambda square, B square, dB plus lambda B, d lambda A is equal to 0. So, we can separate lambda from the equation, but it is not enough. There is still one lambda at the B square. Then that's that. So there's still a remaining lambda at the b square. So it is not homogeneous. The degree of the terms are not equal. Is it exact if we find m, which is 2a minus 8b square? N is equal to b. Now if we differentiate, sorry, I hope you guys didn't hear that. Differentiate m with respect to a. So we're just gonna be having 2, right? N with respect to B, and we're gonna be having 1. So it's not linear. It's not exact. Not exact. It's not the same, right? Okay, so what we're going to do is try to be linear. Because B is already second degree, we're gonna try linear in A. So 2A minus 4B square dB minus BdA plus. Okay, b is already squared. The variable a is not. So in order for it to be linear, your variable, let's say dA, I'm gonna choose dA. We're gonna divide it by dB and b. So the second term becomes dB. Okay, your first order derivative. I hope you guys cannot hear the ring. Okay. Then for the left side, it becomes 2a over b minus 4b squared over b. So what happened? We go back to linear equation. We use a, linear in a, or first degree a. Right? So we identify the derivative first, this one, the derivative. Then determine the first degree variable, 2 over b, a. Okay? So our first degree variable a, then whatever's left is you transpose it to the opposite side. Okay, let's simplify it. 4b. So, that's not 4b because 2 times 4 is 8. So that's not 4b, that's 8. Okay, that's 8. Okay. So this is your linear form, standard form. When you use the linear method, or when you find that the differential equation is linear, you're gonna transform it to this form. Then you identify whatever is beside your first degree variable a, which is 2 over b. and whatever is on the right side, which is QB. Now, right? 8B. Right? Now, this is your linear standard form. You identify PB. You're gonna use P of B to your integrating factor. So I'm gonna use 2 over B. The formula for integrating factor is e raised to e of x dx. Now, so normally it's x, but in this case we're using the letter B or boy. So we're gonna be using that formula. E integrate 2 over B is 2 ln B, then it becomes ln B squared. Okay, cancel ln, so it becomes B squared. Your integrating factor is B squared. Right? When you get your integrating factor, you multiply your integrating factor to the whole equation. You multiply your integrating factor to the whole equation. You also multiply dB, so it's much easier to look at. You're gonna be noticing that the left side, okay, the left side is a product rule of your integrating factor and your linear variable. Okay? The left side is the product rule of your integrating factor and the linear variable. Always. Then the right side is where you're gonna integrate that. Okay? Integrate, that will always be AB squared is equal to, that's gonna come to the fourth, right? So we're gonna divide it by 4 plus C. So what's that? That becomes AB squared is equal to 2B to the fourth plus C. Now, for your exam, for the midterm of my students, we're using V, U, and V. So that will become 2V to the fourth plus C. Oh, it's also an example of initial value problem. So when a problem gives you a value of A equals 1, B equals 4, meaning uh, in your equation, sorry, it gave us a value na of this variable, meaning your general solution, right? This we're gonna use the initial value to get what you call a particular solution, meaning we are looking for a specific solution or a more specific solution, knowing the value of C. Because if we substitute that, so that will become 16 and 512 plus C. C is equal to negative 496. We know that the value of C already pertaining to this point, meaning this equation goes through this point, and this particular solution answers to it answers your differential equations, and it also answers your specific condition, which is A is equal to 1 and B is equal to 4. Long story short, when you have an initial value problem, you're gonna substitute the initial value to get the value of C. And that is now your A equals 1, B equals to 4. This is your particular solution. So I hope you guys learned something. That's linear equation. And again, always do your test. Always determine what type it is. When you determine that it's linear, and also if it is being asked, we should write it that it should be in the standard form. And once you write it or wrote it down in your standard form, it is now a linear equation, a differential equation whose can be solved by linear method. So thank you so much. Bye bye. Okay, let's go to the next problem. Now, our last problem. Okay, we're gonna be doing the last problem for now. Okay, so we running out of space. We have solved a lot. Okay, so this will be our last problem for our midterm. The bonus question, that's gonna be some other time. Okay, Or let's see if we still have time for the next bonus question. Maybe I'll try. But for now, let's do our next problem. Okay, so our problem is a little longer than expected. Okay, what happened? What happened? It appear, 1/2 by 5, disappear, appear. Okay, so we're gonna write it down. U square plus W square du plus u cube plus 3W square u plus 6WU dW. Okay. Okay. Uh, let's determine what type it is. So first off, it's not separable. Again, it's in a binomial with two variables inside. So it's not separable. Plus, I don't know how to separate W and U there. Okay. Uh, next is it homogeneous? If we now for homogeneous equation, there is a inspection method, but then again, it's not advisable and it is not in the lesson. But in order to know if it is homogeneous, you have to determine the degree of each term, because this is square, it's 2. The degree of u cube is cube, 3. The degree of this one is 2. But then there's a degree of u, right? 1. So for that term, 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay? This one on the right side is 6WU. The degree of that is 1 and 1. So the total degree of that term is 2. Okay? In order for it to be homogeneous, the degree of all the terms should be the same. Okay, so 2, 2, 3, 3, 2. There are multiple terms whose cube or 3, the degree is 3, so it is not homogeneous. Okay, is it linear? Definitely no, because both of the variables existing in your differential equation is in the second degree, third degree for you, right? And in order for it to be linear, it needs to be first degree. So it's not exact, it's not linear, it's not, wait, is it exact? Okay, so actually, this is a type that we already taught to our student. This is, let's see. Okay, is it exact? Okay, M with respect to W, N with respect to U. Okay, so for U, it will become 6W, right? Plus 0. Okay, then for M, for N, nanay, no, with respect to U, is 3U square plus 3W square plus 6W. Okay? Now, that is not exact. That is not exact. Okay. Okay, so that is not exact. So we're going to be going into the further types of differential first order differential equation. There are 9 types. What we have discussed is already 4. Going into this equation, this is the 6th type, the not exact made exact. So for not exact, if you find your equation to be not exact, we're gonna be trying to differentiate. It's the test, the M with respect to W and N with respect to U. Okay? Then 3U square, sorry. It's 6W minus 3U square plus 3W square minus 6 plus 6W. It's all negative. So 6W minus 6W will be cancelled. What you will have is 3U square plus W square. Now, there are 2 theorems for not exact. So for theorem 1, we're going to divide that by n. And what is n? Now, u cube plus 3w square u plus 6wu. If that becomes an let's say a x only term, sorry. There for the first theorem, actually for x and y is y minus n. For if that if we're using x and y variable, right? then n. Now, if that becomes an x-only term, okay, it means that it can be transformed into exact. Right? That becomes an x-only term for theorem number 1. For theorem number 2, using that same formula, but if we divide that by m at it becomes a y-only term, okay, meaning that can be transformed into an exact equation. Okay? The difference between the two is the integrating factor. There is an integrating factor here. F of x, we're gonna use the value that we got, f of x dx. For the second theorem, we're gonna use the value that we got, but it's negative dy. Okay? It's the opposite. Negative gy dy. Okay? So that's the difference between the two. For first theorem, it's positive, then the value that we got. For the second theorem, it's negative. Okay? So in this case, if we divide uw squared plus w squared by the first theorem, divided by u cube, you can't. Using synthetic division, there will always be a remainder of a variable. So theorem 1 will resort to a false test or to a false result. It's not x only term, or it's not, well, actually it's not, what's that? Uh, I'm using u. It's not u only term. For theorem 2, we're gonna divide by m. We're gonna divide by m. And what is m? 3u squared plus w squared. Because it is similar, we're gonna get the value of negative 1. Meaning, it has no w, it has no u. Meaning, it qualifies for y only term or w only term. W only term. We can use now the negative GW dW. Okay? Negative 1 dW, positive EW dW. Ah, no. That is now your integrating factor. Okay? That is now your integrating factor. So, in order to use your integrating factor, again, your integrating factor, you multiply it to your equation. You multiply it to your equation before you integrate, right? E to the E positive W. So this becomes 3U square E to the W plus 3W square E to the W du plus U cube E to the W plus 3W square U E to the W plus 6W U E to the W dW is equal to 0. Okay, I'm not gonna discuss exact equation now. No, we're not gonna discuss exact equation. But once we're done with this one, basically we're done with the not exact made exact. This is now an exact equation. Okay, we could try. So for the left side, m with respect to w, this becomes differential of EW is EW. Then the 3W squared EW will become 6W, right? 6W EW plus 3W square EW. So that's the product rule of the second term. For the n with respect to u, that will become 3u square e to the w plus this one with respect to u. So there's only one u there, so it becomes 3w square e to the w, then this one is differential with u, 6w e to the w. Therefore, the equation is exact. So meaning, you can now use your exact method. Okay? So, just for, after this, we're just gonna use the exact method. What I'm going to do is, I'm not gonna discuss the exact method anymore. What I'm going to do now is use the first theorem. Another tip though for exact equation, especially this case, is I'm gonna use the first theorem because the first theorem integrates your left side. u square e to the w plus 3w square e to the w. It's much easier to integrate the left side because there's only one u here. Okay? There's only one u there. But if you integrate the right side using theorem 2 and theorem 3, you're integrating dw. So if you integrate dw or w, there is a lot of w there, meaning you're gonna be doing integration by parts a lot. So by avoiding that, okay, so by using theorem 1, we're avoiding the hard integration by parts. Okay, only going to be differentiating by product rule. Okay, so this becomes 6 u e to the w plus, well, it's not integration, it's not differentiation, it's integration. So it equals u cubed e to the w plus uh, 3w square u e to the w plus h of, uh, well, h of u. No, h of w. Okay? Then differentiate that with respect to the opposite variable, mdu. So that becomes with respect to w, so that becomes u cube e to the w plus 6w u e to the w plus 3w square e to wu plus h prime w. And basically that's the same as your n, right? That's the same as your n. If that's the same your n, meaning your h prime is equal to 0. If you integrate that, that will become constant. Okay. Your general solution now is u cube e to the w plus 3w square u e to the w is equal to c. Divide both sides by e to the w. And I'm gonna separate u cube. So u square plus 3w square is equal to c e to the negative w. That is now our general solution. There is an initial condition, I remember. Our initial condition is u is equal to 2, w is equal to 0. So we're gonna use that 2, 2 square plus 3 times 2 times 0 square is raised to negative 0. So anything raised to 0 is 1. Anything multiplied to 0 is 0. So 2 squared times 2 is 8 is equal to c. Your c is equal to 8. We now know the value of c, meaning your general solution can now be a particular solution. This is now what you call a particular solution. A particular solution. Okay. Anyways, that's it for our midterm exam. This is our the last question. I hope you guys learned something, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you guys are excited to solve yourselves, doing it yourselves, trying to learn the problem. Good luck on your exams and your differential equation problems. Bye bye. Thank you.